They filed a notice of regulatory action on December 4th, 2013, 2 weeks prior to the introduction of this legislation. However, it's my understanding that the Department of Mines, Minerals, and Energy has not been consulted in the development of this legislation. Their notice on December 4th said the purpose of this regulatory action is to ensure that gas and oil regulation reflects current industry best practices and to expand disclosure of ingredients in gas and oil well stimulation and completion of permanent gas and oil operations in the Commonwealth, and to determine if current requirements are sufficient to properly regulate drilling in different geographic areas of the state. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Environmental Quality also has the ability to update their regulations if necessary or as they relate to oil and gas development. In fact, Monday of this week, February 24th, DEQ published updated final regulations for the guidelines for the preparation of environmental impact assessments for oil and gas drilling in Tidewater, Virginia. Mr. Chairman, the state agencies are doing their job to protect our natural resources, and those regulations can be updated without legislation. Oil and gas has been safely extracted in Virginia for decades, as you well know. In fact, roughly 8,000 wells have been fracked in Virginia since the 1950s, and citing directly from DMME, there have been 0 documented instances of surface water or groundwater contamination as a result. Also, more than 10 wells were also safely drilled in the Taylorsville Basin during the 1980s with no contamination. For what it's worth, Mr. Chairman, President Obama has touted the national benefits of oil and gas development, including in last month's State of the Union address. His former Secretary of the Interior and Secretary of Energy have both repeatedly said that they believe fracking is safe. President Obama is not generally accused of being reckless with the environment, and his chosen Secretary of the Interior, Ken Salazar, said, "I believe hydraulic fracking is in fact safe. We know that from everything we've seen, there's not a single case where hydraulic fracking has created an environmental problem for anyone." And Mr. Chairman, in closing, I don't have to tell you about all the positive things that American natural gas production is doing for this country. American natural gas is supporting new growth in U.S. manufacturing and job creation, lowering heat and energy prices for Americans, and as a cleaner burning fuel is reducing our carbon footprint. It's also being used to fuel cleaner natural gas vehicles, and the House and Senate have supported legislation this year to further the conversion of, including the state fleet, to natural gas vehicles. If we want to continue to see these benefits in Virginia, if we want to bring more high-paying jobs to the state, if we want to reduce our dependence for energy from foreign countries that don't like us, we need to allow the safe development of natural gas in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thanks to these strong regulations that we have in place, we've safely developed our energy resources for at least the last 50 to 60 years, and we need to continue to do so in the future.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Do you have a question for Andrew, or just in general? I just want to let his group speak.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to speak against? If you, yes. Then I'm going to recognize. I'll let y'all, the ones who don't want to speak, we run out of time, you can stand. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, Brett Bassey, Virginia Manufacturers Association. I'm also here with my hat as board member of the Consumer Energy Alliance that represents 400,000 individuals and 250 corporations around the country on balanced policy for all of the above energy strategy. Respect Senator Stewart, what he's trying to accomplish, but this bill is based upon, as you've heard, probably an anti-fracking sort of sentiment that somehow there's a direct correlation between our inability to regulate this properly and a need to step out in front of it. We think that the current agencies are able to do what they need to do to protect groundwater with their existing resources, and this would put, in effect, this would put a delay in the moratorium for development. One other thing I would note is you've heard some comments about the Bay. One thing I'd remind the committee is this committee in particular, under the Virginia Energy Plan, put a moratorium on any drilling of oil or gas in the Chesapeake Bay. So that is a statute that exists today.
Thank you. Yes. Next. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Edmund DeJohn of Ashland, Virginia, and I'm the chairman of Shore Exploration and Production Incorporated. Virginia